Hi. Today I want to talk about like how can you thrive in life through leadership because today's uh, biggest challenge today is the people are really upset and they are not really having a great time in their life. Especially after COVID-19, the people are really struggling through finances and a lot of setbacks. Like the people have shown up, not just the people, because people are the most significant and most important part of the country. So it means like the countries and the people like they all are struggling. So today I would give some ideas like how can you thrive in your life through leadership, how can you influence people, and how can you influence your personal life for getting better results and for getting the better takeaway out of your life. So I will share a couple of stories and then definitely I would come on to the point. So, have you ever noticed like the sugarcane tree, the sugarcane plant? Like it looks pretty beautiful, and I'm pretty sure like in African countries or like right now, I'm putting up on the most important part of the globe. So here, like the people really love to have this kind of crop on their field. So I'm just have a story about the sugarcane tree. Once like it's grown up, it takes definitely a long time. So once it's grown up, you see, once you just knock down the plants. So you first cut out the branches, you cut up the top part and definitely the lowest part as well. But if you see the deepest part is still like under the ground. So what happens first when it's ready? So what you do is like you cut up the branches, like the top part, like, and you use it for the animals, and they love to eat it, and definitely they are going to be more productive for you. So later on, what you do is the lowest part, the deepest part of the sugar cane, like you take it outside, okay, and you make it a one heap. So what you do actually, the middle part, like the most important part of like that sugar cane, you put into the machine, and you get the juice. So after getting this juice, you put it into the big bucket, or you pour it into one big colander, and you burn it. Really, like the deepest part of it, you use it to cook it out. So you put it into like the in your fire, and then you cook it up like on that fire. So by end of the day, like you get the molasses, jaggery. So if you notice, the the sugar cane life is so amazing. By end of the day, you get its sugar and you put it into the different products, and it make other products delicious, and it is really, you know, spreading up and is creating the sweetness in all kind of products. Though sugar is bringing diabetes into your life, but my point is, you are using that sugar, you're using that uh, molasses or the jaggery sometime, like you get it into the machines to the sugarcane factories, and out there you the byproduct, the ultimate product is your sugar, like which you the condensed sugar, and you put it into the different products. You put it into the cookies, or you are putting that into so many products you are using in your life. So what's the point is, by end of the day, the sugarcane tree is no more over there. The deepest part is used like to is used and is burnt like to cook that juice, and you can convert that juice into the molasses, the jaggery, or like if you're getting into the factories, like what happens by end of the day, the deepest part of the sugarcane is no more, and the top branches definitely is not going to work. So if you look at the whole life of the sugarcane tree, it's very productive. But by end of the day, sugarcane is no more. Okay, but it is giving its sweetness to everything and everybody, and everyone is using. So by end of the day, there is no sugarcane. So the point is, the moral of the story is, by end of the day, the sugarcane is like a leader. Why? Because by end of the day, leader has no life. Okay, and uh, and it's giving its light, it's giving its sweetness to everybody. So one of my the mentor, he told me the story because I was totally misunderstood about the leadership. So he told me the sugarcane is like a leader. So I'm pretty happy. I'm talking to the sugar canes. I'm talking to the leaders right now. So definitely today, in today's world, the leaders have different challenges and they are really going through different kind of issues and like having, because by end of the day, they are ready to influence the people and they are born to influence the people. They are uh, their job is really to get something out of the work. So the real problem, the real challenge with the leader is like they can't thrive in today's corporate world or in their personal life. But to me, like I would highlight and I would disclose a new perspective of leadership, that is the selflessness. Like as you see, the sugar cane, by end of the day, it has no life, but it is giving a life to everybody. It is giving a life. It is changing the taste of all products, you know. So the leader is just like this. Once because I've been in sports, so I've learned like through my sports, once you see the coaches at the end of the game, when you see like the team wins, so they come out of the ground and they're seriously like they're celebrating their victory. They're so jubilant, they're so excited, they are having a great fun. But if you notice when team wins, like on this particular part of the globe, the cricket is a very popular game. Okay, so when you see the players, like even if it's a 5 days game or if it's a 1 day game or if it's a T20 game, what happens when team wins? They never come to the captain. Okay, they celebrate with each other. But if you see one person is sitting outside that aroma, and the person is sitting outside that stadium or ground, the guy out there, he's a coach, and everyone is rushing, and everyone is running to him by end of the game when team wins. So this is what the leadership is. The influence you at the top, though they are not even in the ground, they are not even in the stadium. Okay, they are not part of that action or the game, but they're sitting outside, but they are into it, and everybody in the team, they are into it. So that's what like the leadership perspective is dramatically and drastically is being changed. The reason why, because today's the leader role is totally changed. Sometime the leader has to become a servant leader, or sometime the leaders they have to play a role of coaches. Why? Because it's a time of needed. It's a time of project. What kind of project is it would design, it will be determined like what kind of leadership is required out there. So leaders are a totally selfless people. Okay, and they by end of the day, like the sugar cane, they are no more over there, but they're the other people, they are pretty much successful because of them. So a couple of more stories are coming up right now, and definitely would help you to understand like how can you thrive in your life. So once upon a time, it was 1950. I don't know why, because 1950s is full of dramas, full of stories, and a lot of great stories happen in 1950s. That decade is so amazing. One lady, she traveled from Germany. I don't know exactly, because the people in Germany, they are so amazing. And out there, like even in history, like people wanting to go out there because this is a land of that a university of the Karl Marx. Like that's an amazing place, and I think like people have been so inspired out there. And once in the past, like it was the moral duty of the people. Like once you are studying, like so once you go, you need to go into the Germany. So what happened? That lady traveled from Germany. Okay. So the greatest thing about that lady is once she was so young, she had three amazing decisions in her life. She born in a very middle class family. The father, mother was a doctor. Father was like was also engineer or doing some kind of work. Well, so she was fifth in her family, and she took three decisions while she was just 11. Three amazing decision. Decision number one, she had that I would never get married. And decision number two, she took, I will become a doctor. And decision number three, she had at that moment that I will serve the humanity. Well, now it was 1950s, 54, and she was traveling. She became a doctor. Like the first goal was achieved by her, and she decided I like to help the humanity, and she took the ticket for India because there was contagious disease out there spread up in India. It was plague. It was so horrible, and at that moment. There was a connection flight, and she was traveling from Germany to India. But in the meanwhile, like she had a connection in Karachi in Pakistan, and she landed out there along with her. Like there wasn't a doctor sitting on, and he told her a story that there is a disease in Pakistan, like because they landed in a McLeod Road in Karachi, and the story was like in Pakistan at that moment there was a disease. It was leprosy disease. Maybe a lot of people have not known yet like to this disease, but because of that disease, that's also contagious, and it is just like the tuberculosis, but still symptoms are not disclosed. But at that moment, it was also like a hidden secret for that lady as well, because she was totally unknown. She had no idea like what that kind of disease is. Well, she landed out there, and she noticed that a lot of people like they are throwing their parents if they are suffering from that heinous disease, leprosy. So the people were not ready to have them at their houses. Even the children, they were throwing their parents, and parents, they were throwing their children, or the parents, they were throwing their ancestors or other parents. The reason why, because it was contagious, and it can easily like transform one person to another person. Well, she slept out there for a night, and she dreamed, and she had a call, and she decided, yes, that I need to work out of here. And she abandoned like to go and to visit the India, and she decided like I would stay out of here. She was a missionary. She was the greatest lady, and she talked to the government out there in Pakistan, and she talked to them like, this is a contagious disease, so we need a team, and I'm ready to help like people out here, so we need doctors. So the government, like they took the list, and they shared it with that lady, and there were overall 18 dermatologists out there in late 1950s in Pakistan. So but they all like refused to work with her, and they refused like to touch even like those patients suffering from that leprosy disease. Well, she decided, and she talked to the government like, we need at least one person like who can. And the government said like, there's nobody. And that moment she decided that, okay, I gotta be that one. Like I gotta be that one person who can help like these people like suffering from the disease. So she went back to the Germany, and out there she had some courses, and like she took some funds, and she came back after 1 year, and then she started to work with the people here, and the people were not ready to diagnose or like to overcome that disease. The response was absolutely zero. People were not ready, and the people had acceptance like, this is not just a disease, it is a torment of the God. Like we are tormented because of the disease, and like this is our luck, this is something is happening by the God, so we can't really stop it, and we have to really face it off. So people were not ready. It took 1 year, and she was really busy convincing people, like and helping. She was ready to help people, and she was helping people to make a decision, yes, that we need to come, and we just need to overcome the disease. People were not ready at that moment, and that was really a dilemma out there on that part of globe, because people accepted like that's the disease, and this disease is kind of torment by the God, so we can't really work on it. So it's okay. Maybe it's our fate, it's our luck. Like we could die because of this. There was a lot of cases, and the people were throwing like their parents and their families into the cottages and the huts outside the station, outside the cities. It was Karachi, So the outside Karachi, the people started to develop some places like where they were throwing the people, especially there's people suffering from that disease, and for their foods, like people were throwing their foods like outside the wall, or they was just closing the doors and they were just putting the foods into it. It was so terrible story, but that lady was not ready to go with that situation. She wanted to bring the biggest change out there. She decided like to help those people because she was a leader. She was selfless, and she was an amazing soul on the globe, I guess. Like, and she is totally. Uh, it's not really disclosed story. It's totally not discussed out there on this part of the globe or like overall the globe. So but today is a great opportunity, like you people can know more about the facts, like about the lady. Well, she started to work with the people, and it took a lot of time. And she was really traveling, and she was going abroad, like in other countries. She was collecting funds, and she was helping people, and she was ready to touch the people. The people even like not ready to touch their parents and the family people, but she was over there like to help uh, to people overcoming that disease. It was definitely a great time in history, like someone really took that patience and the person like dared to work on those kind of patients. Well, she helped more than 65,000 people uh, on that part of globe. And now I feel like a lot of people out there, they're having a great life because of that lady. Because if she couldn't have helped like those people, so maybe a lot of people would have died. So she was really like she was so obsessive about their patients. And the greatest facts about her, that lady, is she was living just in 10 by 10 room, and she was living out there. It was her office, and she was just counting the people. She had their registers there, her library was out there. She was cooking and eating out there, and she was an amazing lady. She was living in that room, and she had just two suits. And I think there's no one in history like the lady. Like she has only two suits, and while she is working, she is putting on one suit, another like she was used to wash, and replacing the other one and washing. So just she was managing just two suits. That particular Levi we call it here, like on this part of global shalwar, and that kind of kameez. That's amazing dress, and she was managing just with two suits out there. And still, if you go there, and if you see her that hospital like she constructed and she took initiative out there, the two suits are still out there. It was 10 by 10 room, and she went abroad like to collect funds. And the greatest news is whenever she traveled abroad, like she was foodie, and she was used to love like great foods. And one of her assistant doctor, he told the story that that lady, the doctor, whenever he came back to Pakistan, like she was used to eat just a very simple foods in the morning, just one with fluffy naan and with a boiled egg, or sometime with a fluffy naan and with a yogurt, one naan and one bowl of yogurt, or one kind of piece of potato. And she was used to mash it and putting some spices or chilies or like the salt on it, and she was used to eating in breakfast. And she was used to eat again in the morning. It was just enough for 24 hours for her, the greatest lady. And whenever she came up here, she always used to eat this food. And one of her assistant, like she told her story when she was alive. He told that that I asked her many a time, Doctor, when you come abroad, like you eat a lot of foods, but when you go back to Pakistan, you eat just very simple foods. Why is it? And she told Dr. Aslam, the reason why, because I would love to eat the food what the labor class person who hardly can afford the 2 or 3 times food. So I would eat that food like the person is eating, the person who can't earn money, the person who can eat, who can earn the lowest wage rate in that country. Okay, and she was used to eat that kind of food. Imagine about the selflessness, like when she was out there, when she stood in Pakistan, she had 65,000 people, and she never used any kind of special car, or she never used any kind of special conveyance, even like to visit, or like to meet like the patients and to diagnose the patients. She never used any kind of the private conveyance. Ooh, though she had a lot of money, but she never. She said, "I would travel like other people are traveling." And she's been working with the laborers. She's been working with like other the paramedical staff, like the people were working. She never asked for the special conveyance. She never asked for the special seats. She never asked for the special services. She never asked for the special suitings. She never asked for any kind of special nothing, nothing. So this is like today's leaders are really suffering because they really need to follow her. Why? Because that is, she's an amazing lady. She served the unserved people, and she served the underserved people, and she's spoken to the people who not been speaking to, and she's been helping to the people like who never been helped, and she's been helping to the underserved people in her life. Amazing, amazing person, and an amazing human being. Her name was Dr. Ruth Fow. Dr. Catherine Sabrina Ruth Fow. She born in Germany. She stayed in Pakistan for more than 65 years, and she's been helping people out of here. And she's been living the lowest wage rate person's life. And she's been helping everybody. This is what kind of the selflessness is required to all the leaders. And when she was asked, like, Doctor, how'd you like it? Because you've been serving him for more than 65 years, and you've been served with a lot of gifts, and you've been served with the distinction. She said, it's okay. I don't need it. I don't need any kind of distinction or any kind of gift or any kind of award by the government, because she's been awarded multiple times by the government, but she never appreciated such kind of things because she was working selflessly. She was serving the unserved people, and she was helping the people who had never been helped ever in the history. So that's what right today's leaders like they can thrive in the leadership if they are interacting with people, they are talking to the people. So they really need to be polite, and they really need to help people like the summit leader. Uh, and like this is a great demonstration. This is the greatest example of the entrepreneurship. This is we call the social entrepreneurship. So today's world is demanding more. So the social entrepreneur, the social leaders like Dr. Ruth Fow. And when she was asked, like in one interview, like, "Hey, doctor, how'd you like to serve it out there?" And she said, "I enjoyed it." Oh my gosh, so powerful. Like she's been working for 65 years. She never got married. She never had a date. And a couple of times it happened like she was proposed by the great colleagues and the doctors. They proposed her, and they fall in love with her. And even she was like, he fall in love a couple of times. But by the end of the day, like she decided, no, I won't get married. The reason why? Because if I get married, like how can I help people? How can I serve humanity? How can I fulfill that my dream? How can I fulfill that commitment what I have had in my life when I was just 11? Like at that moment, she decided that I would never get married. And decision number 2 was that I would become a doctor. And decision number 3 was that I would help the humanity. And I would help humanity with no reason. I would help like selflessly. So one more story is in today's world that maybe you all people knew about, and you have listened about that. Great. Again, this story belongs to the German people, and one more story is coming up. It's about the Warsaw. It's about the Polish story, but again, like the same kind of nature, the same kind of people. So that lady, she PhD. She was PhD in quantum chemistry. A lot of people they decide to go into quantum physics, but she was an amazing lady. She decided to go into the quantum chemistry, but afterwards, she decided, I think that I can do better because she was the vice chancellor of Germany, but she decided, no, I didn't need to go into politics. And with her manifestation, what she had given to the people out there in Germany. The people really chosen her as the great vice chancellor or the great prime minister out there. What was the reason? That lady decided I would bring other kind of changes because she decided I would be stuck in just one place in just one laboratory where I have to work on experimentation. And she said, no, I need to work. I can work better. Why? Because she's again been studying at the Karl Marx University, and she decided I need to come into the politics. And you're going to be surprised when she came into the politics. She made amazing decisions, and most importantly, she defeated to the Gerhard Schroeders. He was so popular out there, and he was selected a couple of times for the Germany. He's been doing the great. He's been showing up and doing great for the Germany, but people really prefer amazing people. They prefer really to that lady. They propose her as a prime minister. She became prime minister and she made amazing things for the people. And the greatest facts about her is she was living in a very small flat, and it was rented. And when she was asked, she's been for 16 years a prime minister in Germany. I'm talking about Angela Merkel, and she had just a couple of suits. She had two trousers and a couple of the shirts. And if you notice in different videos, if you go on YouTube or if you see videos, you would see she had just a couple of dresses. And once she was asked, Angela Merkel, you are just putting on you have just a couple of suits. And I can, the journalist said, I can remember you are putting up the same black shirt and the white trousers. And she said, I'm not a model. I'm a prime minister of the country. My job is different, okay? And she has been living just with a couple of suits, just with a couple of shirts and a couple of that trousers. And she had, once she was asked how many janitors you have at home, and she said, no, I don't have a janitor at my home. I cook myself. Even I arrange the dresses, at home. And my husband, who is head of department in a university, and he stayed as the head out there during her prime ministership. He never got a big seat. He never got any kind of escalation in seats or he never get. He's been on the same job, and he was used to wash the clothes at night because she had to believe if I could have washed my clothes at night, so it would help more to I can save electricity, I can save energy for my country. My goodness, oh my gosh, look at her. Just imagine about her. And she was used to press her clothes. She was used to get up in the morning, and her husband had been helping her in cooking, and they both been cooking for each other. They had no kids. They had no private car. She was used to travel in trains every day for a prime minister office. She never demanded any kind of thing. And with her salary, she was just managing her home and just managing her life. And she was donating the rest of the money to the other people. Imagine about the leadership. Wow. That's amazing. It left a lot of footprints for me. And I think people like Angela Merkel and the people like Dr. Favre, they have left footprints for everybody, especially for the leaders Very impressive book by Simon Sinek. Eaters, leaders eat at the end. Yes, she was a proven leader. Even she's been eating so small in quantity, really. She's an amazing lady. And after retirement, like she got the money. And the bad news is she couldn't buy a new house even with that money. She's still living in that same home. She never changed her home. Anybody can meet her, anybody can talk to her. Wow, amazing lady. And I think there's a lot of lessons for today's leaders. Even you're in a corporate leader, you are leading any NGO, okay? You are leader in any government NGO, or you are leading any, you are you are a servant leader, all right? You are serving humanity, or even you are in corporate, or you are serving anywhere, okay? You're in a public department, you're in a private sector, wherever you are, you have a lessons. And I think Angel Merkel and along with like Dr. Utfal, they have left a lot of prints for you. You really can follow whoever you are in your life, whatever you're doing in your life, you can really follow her. They are amazing people. One more lady I really can talk about her. That's the story happened in Warsaw. She was so young. She was 19. Well, and she had no family. She was living in kind of demolished house. She had no house, and she was managing. She was teaching. She was busy giving the tuitions to the people, and she was making money. At that moment, when she was 19, she was giving a tuition at some the chief of that tribe, chief of that territory, and in that house, and she was teaching to the young girl. And one day, the brother of that young girl came into that village. He was studying in France, and he really fell in love with that girl. And that girl was really so intelligent in maths and like the science subjects and chemistry, physics, and bio. She was amazing, amazing student, but she was really suffering at that moment, like because the Poland like is a blizzard type of territory of the globe. Why? Because there is full of it's frosted by the day, like, and in the 12 months, like you see, it's very kind of frosty. So she had no fruits for eating, and she was just living with one bread for full month, and she was really giving all her sense like to the studies. Well, at the moment, she had no kind of blanket, and she was used to going to the table and hiding herself like with a lot of books, and she was really combating and she was really fighting with that situation. Well, the guy like fall in love with her, and he decided like to get married with her, and he proposed her. And one day, like the lady of that boy, like she could know like the story, what's happening at my house, and she really invited everyone at home, all the villagers, like they came at her home, and she asked, I look at the lady, she is putting on one gesture, and she hardly can manage like even the 1 month that energy like to manage with that the first time, with that cold time. She can't even manage. She had no money for food. She's just giving a tuition to my young girl, and she's getting some money, and she's managing up there at her the demolished house. She even has no house. Do you believe me? Like that, my son, you see, like he's studying in France. He's doing the higher studies out there, and look at him. He looks very. He's putting on very fancy dresses. He looks very agile. Do you feel like my son should marry or should get married with that girl? So everyone in the village said no. So they all rejected her. Like she doesn't deserve like to get married with the son of that chief lady. Well, she was kicked out of there from that house, and she was so dejected, rejected. She was so frustrated, but she decided like to get revenge from herself, like from that poverty, like which couldn't help her really to get married with the boy. And she started to study pretty hard. She started to burn the minute. She was giving all her sense like to the study. And after the Elon Musk, like she's considered to be actually the first lady in the bottom line. She's considered to be the first lady who has utilized time pretty well. ever in the history of time, ever the history of the human. She was an amazing lady, and she started to study hard out there. And I want to share some facts about the Poland in that moment. The women, they were not allowed to go into the school called university. So she was going into the private academies. She was going into the private university, and she was the first lady. She took like the first degree in France, and even Einstein was there, and the all top great scientists was there, like over there in that university. And she was the one really. She took amazing distinction out there, and she was the first lady who took the master's degree in that private university, because women were not allowed to get any kind of degrees or any kind of education. So women's, they were not enfranchised even like for the elections. Anyway, the vulnerability, of course, like help you to go for the biggest success in vulnerability. You can't live with vulnerability. There are two options: whether vulnerability would kill you, or you going to kill, or you going to overcome that vulnerability. Well, she out there, she met a guy. His name was Perry Curie. He was professor, and at the moment when she was living in France, the greatest news is when she was out there, because she had no money, and look at the level of modesty, look at the level of self-esteem. She talked to her sister out there, like, if I'm studying out here, so in during my studies, the money you will spend upon me, I will return you back after my studies, after completion of my studies or getting my work or the job. And she's been living out there with that high self-esteem. She was so confident, and she got a guy out there. Maybe he was her soulmate. His name was Patty Curie, and Patty Curie was a wannabe professor, doctor, and like he wanted to become a scientist. But one day he proposed, because the Mary was used to drive a bicycle a lot, and out there, like, he was used to go with Perry, and they had a lot of affection. They were really a soulmate. And one day he proposed, Mary, I'm talking to Mary Curie. He asked, Mary, would you marry me? And Mary says, it looks very unscientific. Look how Mary responded to the Patty Curie's proposal. Well, later on they got married, and they started to work together, and they had decision. They decided, like, we're gonna get something out of that iron, and they burned a lot of iron at their home. And in the meanwhile, they really hurt their lungs, and later on, the Mary Curie like died because of because she started to get some reflections, and because she and both actually Marie Curie and the Patty Curie, they both really hurt their lungs while they were used to burn the iron out there. And while they were burning the iron, they took some very small quantity of uranium, and from the uranium, like, it's the very smallest quantity of iridium they could get out of that uranium. That iridium later on could help, like, to diagnose the cancer people. Wow! And they both shared the first Nobel Prize. And later on, the Marie Curie, after the death of Marie Curie, she really suffered, because it was pretty hard for her, like, to live without Marie Curie. Like, I'm also suffering these days. A couple of months ago, my wife passed away, and is getting, most definitely, I'm going through really the worst time of my life, and it's quite hard to talk about, because we were crushed of each other. We've been in a great love and great talk always. We had a great relationship. We were chosen souls for each other. Well, so it was quite hard for Marie Curie really to manage without Perry. But later on, she reforged herself, and she started to work more. And later on, she was served with one more Nobel Prize. My goodness, she is only the lady in the world, in the universe and in the history, who has utilized time pretty well, the maximum time user. And She's only the lady on the globe. Like she took 2 Nobel Prizes. Later on, her 2 daughters got the Nobel Prizes. So overall, 5 Nobel Prizes went into that family. Oh my gosh, she was an amazing lady. And once she got the first Nobel Prize, she was asked like uh, a lot of entrepreneurs like they came in and while she got the Nobel Prize, and she was asked like, who do you want to give this Nobel Prize? Who do you want to give this formula? Because we can diagnose the people suffering with cancer. And she said, I gotta give it free of cost. Yes, that's what the spirit is. Look at the hardships. Look at the hell like she's been going through. And by end of the day, like she decided, no, I gotta give it free of cost. And I gotta give it to that company, that entrepreneur who's gonna help one lady in my village. She is suffering from a cancer. She is suffering from the cancer. So I would give that formula to the company who's gonna help that lady and fix and diagnose that lady from the cancer. Do you know who was that lady? Who was this lady like suffering from the cancer? She was the same lady. She was the same woman who rejected her to get her married with her son. With her son. My goodness. And you know what was the reason? It was not a revenge only. It was a lesson. She took a lesson and she set a footprints for humanity. And she said, I would love to see that lady like to reforge again, like to be recovered again from that cancer. The reason why, because of that lady, I got 2 Nobel Prizes. Otherwise, if I would have got married, like with her son, and maybe would have 3, 4 kids, and maybe I would have been in the kitchen, maybe I would be working like and I would have him like the ordinary life. I would have been just a mama for 3, 4 kids, and maybe I would just be serving like a chef at home, and I'd be serving that person only. Because of that lady, she shaped me. That event became later on, the significant emotional event for her life. And that's why she appreciated, she adored that lady who rejected her to get married. And she actually, the nature was involved out there. The nature was looking at her that she must be rejection. She must be rejected. Once you get rejection, my goodness, the miracles will happen in your life. And you see, if you see the leadership qualities, oh my goodness, again, selfless. She never demanded a lot of money. She never asked for the money. She never asked for the services. She never asked for any prerequisites for her life. She never asked for the facilities like in return and asked her because I have given, if I have helped like to create an iridium, like to diagnose cancers people. She was not demanding a single penny in return. Look at the leadership. That's again like the selfless leaders. She was an amazing lady. So today I've discussed 3 ladies. The first one's the Dr. Ruth Fowle. My goodness. On subcontinent and over on the globe, like she's been usually called the Mother Teresa of Pakistan, but I don't call her. Why? Because she has her own personality. She has her own charisma and aroma of her life, and the amazing lessons she has left for the leaders and for the coaches and for the people who are serving humanity. Amazing. So today's leaders, they really can thrive if they gotta put love and they gotta put selflessness into their leadership. And one more, like the Jack Ma says, and the later on, Jack Ma worked on it, and in the bottom line, Mother Teresa said, you need to put love, LQ, love into your work. If you are working for the salary, for the money, for the checks, if you're looking at the money and you are working for the money, I can tell you that's a slavery. That's not a mission. And you are born, your life is like a mission. You are born for one mission. You are born to help humanity selflessly. I can tell you, everything got to help you, everything got to serve you. I personally experienced, I started to work selflessly, and later on I enjoyed a lot in my life. I have no idea where the law of attraction is happening in my life, and I attracted a lot of energy in my life. I attracted a lot of great relationship in my life. I attracted a lot of great top tycoons and the great successful people in my life. I attracted great relationship in my life. I got a greatest wife. I got a great 4 kids. I have a youngest mom born just a couple of months ago, and I'm having a great time with her. She born like just in 7 months. While her mother was pregnant and she born in just 7 months. She was premature baby and she's pretty healthy. She's so amazing, and I'm having a great time with her. And when I look at her like smiling, she brings a lot of charisma and she mesmerizes me really. It gets me it gives me a feeling of aroma and charisma, and I feel great when I look at her. And well, so we can thrive in life. We can. I attracted a lot of great things in my life because I've been serving the unserved people. I serve the underserved people. I've never been charging, and I've been like I still travel like in buses. I travel in the public transport. I don't mind. People ask me, "Hey, why don't you travel? Why don't you get your car? Why don't you get like private conversation?" I said, "It's okay. If other people can travel in the buses, so why can't I? I can travel, right?" I'm gonna be the last person like who would be traveling maybe in a jet. Yeah, I travel. I'm a globetrotter. I love traveling, but it is just a resource. Okay, so money is just a resource. Help you like to make your life better, but you are not born like to make your life better. A lot of people ask me, "Mike, give us one message for our company." Corporate people ask me, servant people ask me, some leaders ask me, corporate leaders ask me. A lot of people ask me, my students ask me. I go to the different conferences and workshops, people ask me, "Mike, give us one message, give us one advice." I said, "I don't know really what I can advise you, but I've been practicing one thing in my life, that everyone on this globe is my family member." And when I floated this message to the corporate companies, I floated this message to the salespeople, that everyone on this globe is your family member. So now, let's look at the philosophy. If you're going to deal people like your family members, you're going to do everything for your family member. I get a lactogen 1 for my kid, and I'm putting my all activities. I'm doing a lot of things like to make money, and then I'm serving my young kid. I'm serving in my 3 kids. I'm paying their bills. I'm getting them ice cream. I'm getting them a lot of things like what they love to eat and like have fun in their life. I'm doing everything for my kids. And if you're going to treat your client, if you're going to treat everyone on this globe like as your family member, I can tell you, you're going to give the high quality product, because you can't give them different product. You can't give them low quality products. You can't give them anything like people can't rely. You can't give them anything like the high prices. You can't charge the top dollars. No, never. You can't defeat them. You can't cheat them. You don't need any kind of sales techniques. It's pretty easy. If you have a quality product, the people will love your products. If people love your products, people love you. So this is only a message, this is only a mission for everyone, for the leaders. Like if you're quality products, and if you're treating people, if you're treating everybody around you like your family member, I can tell you, I can make it sure, I guarantee you, you can thrive in your life, you can thrive in any corporate, in tycoon companies, or in any companies. Like even you're working or for the giant companies. No, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if you're going to treat your clients like a family member, because there are 3 clients, the most important clients in your life. Your internal client for your company. The internal client is a person who's working for your company, and the internal client is serving for your company 24/7 by 365, and they're giving 9 to 5 time, and they are creating for your company. They are giving all the services. They are busy in marketing, selling. They are busy in research. They are serving the clients and the customers on their desk, and they are placing the products in the right places. They are busy in marketing. They are busy doing all kind of work, all kind of on all the boundary spanning in your company. They are your internal client because you hired them, you got them into your company. Why? Because they're going to help you to make money. They are your first client. They are your internal client. Okay? And the second client is your external client, because you get the all internal client to help your external client, because external clients are at the end, by the end of the day, like they're the most important, because you can get flow of your income from your external client, because you're creating all the products, you are creating all the quality products, you're giving all your services, and you're giving all your ideas, you are selling all your mission, you're selling all your ideas through your internal client, but you're creating everything with the company is for the people. I'm personally, well, I love to be capitalist, but because I want to give best products to my client. I want to serve them. I love them. I want to help them to use. I just want to give them more than care, because they're my family member. I'm putting all my cents. I'm giving all my cents like to help my most important client. This is my intimate client, my family people. I'm doing everything in my life for my family. So if you're going to treat everyone in this globe as your family member, as your family client, I can make you sure your company would be really at the top. And lead of your company, of your leader would be very high. Because if you want to treat other people, your family member, you got to give the quality products. You don't need a competitor. You will never see around you what's happening. You never see like what your competitors are doing, because you are massively focused to help your family people, like your family member. Everyone on the globe is your family member. Choice is yours. Choice is yours. If you are choosing your client just from your local, you want to help like people all the globe, because you're not born in one country. You're born on the globe. You're born on the globe. This globe is yours. And you got to give the quality product. You got to make everybody on this globe is your family member. So you got to treat them really at the top. And most importantly, because you're doing everything for your intimate client, because they're most important, they're most valuable. So if you're going to treat everybody in the globe your intimate client, I can make you sure your portfolio, your company will be really at the top. You don't need to put extra into your company. That was the message for the leaders and for everybody. Like if you are involved, because if you are breathing, you need everything. Like John C. Maxwell says, if someone is breathing, needs encouragement. So please accept as my encouragement that you're going to create quality products for your intimate client, and everyone out there in the world is your intimate client, because you love them. You don't want to give them anything low quality. You want to help them, but because by the end of the day, you're earning a lot of money for your family. That's why selflessness is required everywhere in your life, and you have to put into your life, being a leader, being a thriving leader. And if you want to excel, if you really want to have a breathtaking life, so you definitely have to have this 360-degree paradigm shifting in your life. You're just one decision away from a totally different life. And as I told you, the life is a mission. You're not just born for your personal success. Most of the time, if you're dreaming personally, you're not going to be successful. So your dream must be totally impersonal. You have to dream about people. You have to dream about humanity. You have to dream about everybody around you. You have to dream about like the other people's success. If you're going to help them, if you're dreaming about other people's success, I can make you sure you're going to be the biggest success. And remember, dreams are never personal. Don't get personal with your dreams. You're not born to make your life facilitated to getting Ferrari or the limousine car or the big bungalow and having the swimming pool party. You're not born to do all this. You're born to do something different. You're born to make this life a purposeful. You're born to make this life an amazing, and other people's life as well. Most definitely. So don't dream personally, because great leaders, they don't dream personal. They dream always impersonal. So likewise, if your dream is impersonal, so your success is never personal. Your success is also impersonal. If you're getting successful, people around you, they're also getting success. Recently, we have recorded one podcast on entrepreneurship, that why people Why educated people like they are broke by the end of the day, they are not successful in their life? The reason why, the most important reason is why, because they are not treating people as their family client, and they get more arrogant, okay, and they don't care of definitely by the end of the day they're nothing, and they are not massively focused like how to make money for their life and how to dream about other people, because they're not dreaming about other people. So so the most important thing what you need to bring in your life is you need to dream impersonally, and your success would be impersonal. It's not personal. It doesn't mean like if you are getting success, okay, then other people are not successful. I believe in the person is a criminal, because it's not about like just only you are becoming successful. Like you see the millions of clients, the millions of people that are connected with the top tycoon companies, and they're working all over the globe and they're making money. I feel like they have a philosophy of treating everyone on the globe like a family member, and they are not creating the followers, they are not creating just consumers around the globe, they are creating the more leaders. They are creating more leaders, and they are bringing more leaders into their company. So like pretty well, like especially in the developing countries, maybe they have no idea, like if you're working with Bill Gates, you're working with Steve Jobs, and you're working with Elon Musk, like you're a leader out there. Like if you're working with Sundar Pichai and the Google, so they call their people the leaders. Leaders definitely would have some certain qualities. Okay, so as definitely we are living so many great footprints today. So I want to talk about, like, because this is the most important thing and the most important philosophy we need to have if you want to thrive in your life. That is about the respect. Most of the time, people give other people respect, whether they are in their family, whether they are at the workplace, or whether they are in the market, whether it is in shopping, or whether interacting with people, whether they are in a crowd. So people always love to give respect to the people who are better than them. No, always give respect to who is not better than you. Okay, so you're born to give them respect. Respect is totally unconditional, like love is totally unconditional. So respect is totally unconditional. You are born to give respect to everybody, because if you're going to become a great leader, so you have to put love into it, you have to put selfless into it, and you have to put love into it, and most of all you have to put respect into it, because today's followers and today's leaders in different companies, they're facing off this biggest challenge and issues, because the leaders, they're shouting, the leaders, they are not really polite. So you got to be putting more love into it. You got to be putting more love quotient along with intelligent quotient or with emotional quotient, because people definitely, they're emotional and they love to listen. And people listen to you until you're polite. People don't listen to you when you start shouting or when your voice tone is going out. So being a leader, you have to really be polite for your internal clients, and for your, most importantly, your intimate client and your external client. You're polite. You are love. Love is not something. Love is not a noun. Love is an action. And love is a verb. It's a verb action. So you have to put, like the leadership. Leadership is not a noun. This is also a verb. Leadership is about influencing. It's about putting love. It's about helping people. It's about empowering people to do more and to do better, to achieve the results. So our respect always comes from top to the bottom. Once I had an experience, I was at a company. So I was interviewed for some post. It was my early days. I had no money. I was broken. I was searching a job for my mom. And later on, I started my entrepreneurship, and I became entrepreneurship. So at that moment, I went into the biggest company. So the CEO of that company, it was my 8th interview, and I came in that interview. I had no idea like who's going to interview like out there. So I was like on the security office. So the security guy, like he called the CEO. The CEO came outside and he picked me up. Excuse me. So he received me from that gate, and he opened 14 doors for me. He was opening the door. He was asking me, please come in. He was opening the door. He was, please come in. So he opened multiple doors for me. And he always asked me, he always served me to come first. Wow. He was a CEO. He was charging 4 or 5 million. My goodness. And I was just a job seeker. So look at the standards of leaders like they have humility, they give respect to the people. So that day I noticed respect always comes from top to the bottom. It never goes from bottom to the top. No, it always comes from the top. Okay, it just comes. So the janitorial staff deserve more and more respect. Along with, they must be informed people in the company. So, and I was just interviewed for like 50, 60 seconds, and afterwards he came again. He opened the doors again and again. He was leaving a message for me. He left a message me for the life actually. That you got to give respect to your juniors. You got to give respect to everybody. It doesn't matter like. And the leaders, they don't have a title, they don't have a position, they don't have a special seat. They're the leaders. They're the solution providers. Everyone wants to go on their desk and they just want to know like how to fix the problem. Whenever they have problem, people go and people ask them like how to fix it. So that's the leaders line. So these leaders, they have different kind of value for their respect. And one more thing for the leaders, that leaders, they don't wait for the work. Okay, they create that charisma. They create the value in the company that you never need to wait for the work. You need to go after the work. I had this happen like while working with my first CEO. I was pretty lucky that I get the CEO like who was so enriched with the leadership, and he set definitely a lot of success footprints for me, and still I follow. And I learned a lot. It was not just my first job, it was supposed to be like my first university where I learned the practical things like how to get the things done, like as a leader. So, but that leader was so amazing. He always opened the door for me. And he told me, don't wait for the work. Always go after the work. And I practiced this whenever my leader had given me any kind of task. So I just make the priority, and then I did the first one, and I went back to my boss and says, yes, this is done, and I need more work. Do you have more work for me? How can I help you? I had this line from my boss. How can I help you? Wow. And I still have this line. Whenever I talk to my client, whenever I talk to my trainees or my colleagues, I always ask, how may I help you? How may I help you? It shows you up like the law of solipsism, like you feel so activated, you feel so powerful in your life, you feel so great in your life, and you feel like so empowered. It means like you're ready to give more help to the people. This is what I've been doing in my life at my workplace, and I was always after my work. I had no seat. I always like going. I'm always roaming here and there. I never like even like the people in my colleagues' cubicles. Never ever. I was much focused at my work, and later on, I was in good books. I got the jumps in my salary. I had a great time with the company. And I was so popular out there because of my work. You know Steve Jobs, you know Elon Musk, you know Mark Zuckerberg, you know Reid Hoffman, you know Michael Littman, not because of their name. You know such great people because of their work, because of their contribution to this world. You can't earn any reputation for what you have not done anything in your life. You can't earn reputation like on the future things, or you say, I gotta do it, or maybe I do it. You can't earn on that. You can earn reputation what the things you have done in your past, what you are doing in your life. So people know Bill Gates because of his contribution to this world. So one great philosopher says, you must feel ashamed to die before any social major contribution in this world. So you were born. A couple of weeks ago, I had a great mentor, and he talked to me, Mike, tell me one thing. You are getting free of cost oxygen. You're getting free of cost this water. You are breathing in this environment. You are breathing in, you're breathing out. You're being served with the beautiful nature and environment. I said, yes, I'm blessed. He said, no, you got to pay back. You are indebted. What are you paying back? What are you paying back to this nature? So you are born to pay back. So you are born to work 24 over 7. You're not born just 9 to 5. No way. You're born to 24 over 7. Like you are sleeping, you are working. You're sleeping, you are working. Like, and this is the secret. This is the philosophy of Elon Musk. Like he believes in like to work super hard. Don't work hard. Don't work smart. Don't work hard even. Like as a motivational speaker, I've been like speaking to my clients like work hard. No, stop working hard. Start working super hard. Like when you are at work, you are giving all your sense into your work. And when you are at the work, you are into the work. You are not just out there for the work. You are not like the people like they are just roaming and they are just waiting for 5 o'clock. They're just looking at the clock. After 2, like they start looking at the clock again and again. At 4:30, just stand up for their seats and they start saying bye to their colleagues. They say, okay, the time is getting off. It's time to go back. And the people, like, they declutter everything from their office. They remove all the files and everything. They put back all kind of stuff from the desk and the table and back into the cupboards. Why? Because the off time is coming up. That's not a philosophy for the great leaders. If you're in the workplace, no way. This is not, even it's not honesty. This is not integrity. I believe in integrity because honesty is a part of integrity. Like you have to put all your sense into the work because you're going to be responsible. Even responsibility is not personal. You're responsible for this whole globe. I totally disagree with the people who say like you are responsible for your personal financial number. You are responsible for your just personal life. No, everyone in this globe is yours. Everyone in this globe is your family member. You're responsible for everyone. So responsibility is not personal. Like dream is not personal. Success is not personal. Your responsibility is not personal. Don't get personal. You're going to be impersonal in your life because everyone around you, they are looking forward. They deserve your services because the moments you share with the people, they are your life partners. Well, so being a leader, you have to put something special into your work. And work is not for the money. If you go to work, if you get onto your boat for the work, like for money, so it's a slavery. If you are a missionary, if you are doing something what you are really passion, you have a passion. Passion is something what you never get tired and you love to do it. You love to do it again and again, again and again, again and again. You never get tired. You're ready to work for 24 hours 7. Even you are being paid a less amount. You are not getting rewarded properly, but still you're happy with that work. Being a company, being a leader is also your job to find the great leaders, to find the great passionate people, because passion is the first instrument and the first quality of the leaders because they are passionate. They never get tired from their work. So being a leader, like in your workplace, you need to put something passion into your work. I have a lot to say about the leadership today. So I believe this is quite enough for today. And I'm pretty sure you have a great time. And you can watch this video again and again. You can share on your pages. You can share in your groups. You can share its glimpses. You can share this page. You can connect on this page. It's a heritage leadership kind of page. I'm just talking on this page, from this page. So thank you very much for Joshua, who's organizing this great event. And maybe a couple of more days are there, for this conference. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye.